My girlfriend invited her male best friend to our anniversary dinner. This dude ordered the priciest wine on the menu while they reminisced like I was invisible. So I excused myself to the restroom, settled my portion of the check, and slipped out the back. Her phone blew up with 50 missed calls the second that bill hit the table. I'm 29, she's 27, and we'd been together for 2 years. Things were actually pretty solid until about 6 months back when her childhood best friend, let's call him Marcus 28, relocated back to our city after living across the country. So last night was supposed to be special. Our 2-year anniversary. I'd reserved a table at this nice steakhouse downtown. Not the kind of place where you're dropping mortgage payments, but definitely a step up. You know, the type where guys wear collared shirts and the napkins are actual fabric. I spent almost a month coordinating everything. Then the morning of our anniversary, she drops this bomb on me over coffee. Hey babe. So Marcus just flew back from his business trip, and I literally haven't seen him in forever. I told him to meet us tonight at dinner. That's cool, right? Cool. It was the opposite of cool. But she had this talent for twisting things around so that if I objected, suddenly I was the unreasonable one. It's our anniversary dinner, I said, trying to keep my voice level. I know, sweetie, but he's only here for like 4 days, and honestly, you two really need to bond anyway. Come on, don't make this a thing. A red flag the size of Texas. But did I stand my ground? Nope. Because apparently I'm great at ignoring warning signs. We arrived at the restaurant right at 7. Marcus was already posted up at our table, the one I'd reserved, with a cocktail in front of him, already on my tab, didn't even wait for us to get there. The dinner itself was absolutely surreal. They immediately dove into catching up for like 20 straight minutes. I might as well have been a houseplant. It was just, remember when we did this? And, oh my god, that time you said that thing. Meanwhile I'm sitting there trying not to look as awkward as I felt. I attempted to redirect the conversation back to, the reason we were there. So babe, remember our first date when you... Marcus jumped in. Dude, you have to hear this story from sophomore year. So we're at this party, and she... And off they went again. Another 15 minutes of inside jokes I wasn't part of. Then the ordering started. I went with the rebe. She chose the salmon, both reasonable. But then Marcus starts quizzing the waiter about premium wines. What's your top, chef? Right, something really special tonight. The waiter suggests this bottle. It's $340. I nearly spit out my water. Marcus just grins. Perfect. Let's do it. We're celebrating after all. My celebration, my reservation, my credit card that was already on file with the restaurant. I shot a look at my girlfriend. She just smiled and nodded along. That sounds incredible. They poured 3 glasses and made this toast. To old friendships and new adventures, not to us. Not to 2 years together. To old friendships. I mumbled something about needing the restroom, grabbed my phone, and locked myself in a stall. I pulled up my calculator and started running numbers. My ribeye $45, her salmon $38. Marcus's meal, of course he added the lobster tail, $62. My drinks $12, hers $15, his $31. My share of that ridiculous wine about $13. Tax and tip for my portion roughly $42. Total for just my stuff around $260. I walked over to the bar area and flagged down a different server. Hey, I need to split the check for table 12. Just pay for my portion separately. She looked confused but rang it up. I handed her cash, $260 plus an extra $40 as a tip for dealing with the weird request. Then I walked straight through the kitchen area, out the back exit, got in my car and home. I turned my phone off for a bit, needed the quiet. When I powered it back on about an hour later, my screen was chaos. 2 missed calls, 156 texts from her. Announced, where did you go? This isn't funny. The bill just came and they said you ALAYYDA your part OY? Are you serious right now? You left me here with a $400 bill, you are pawn? This is so embarrassing. I had to call my mom to help pay. Word on. Marcus also chimed in, real mature bro. You made her cry in a restaurant. What kind of man pulls something like this? She deserves way better. I replied to her. Just her. You brought someone to our anniversary. He ordered $340 wine without consulting me. You both acted like I was furniture all night. I covered my meal. You two can handle the rest. Then I blocked Marcus and went to sleep. Next morning, she was pounding on my apartment door at like 8 a.m. We need to talk, she said through the door. Thanks for all the comments everyone. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. I should have ended this months ago. Hindsight's perfect vision, right? So she showed up that morning. I let her in cause we had to have this conversation eventually. She came in swinging. How could you humiliate me like that in front of Marcus? In front of everyone at that restaurant. It's our anniversary, I said. Why was he even best friend? You're supposed to be okay with that. Best friends don't hijack anniversary dinners and order 340 bottles of wine on someone else's credit card. She switched tactics. Tears started flowing. You abandoned me there. I had to call my mom. Do you understand how embarrassing that was? You know what was embarrassing? Being the third wheel at my own anniversary dinner. You're being ridiculous. Marcus was just excited to celebrate with us. Celebrate what? Your friendship with him. Because it definitely wasn't about us. That's when she really went for it. Maybe if you weren't so insecure, you could handle me having guy friends. This is exactly why we don't work. You're jealous and controlling. Controlling. Because I didn't want to bankroll her reunion dinner with the other dude. Get out, I said. Excuse me. We're done. Take your stuff and leave. She actually laughed. You're breaking up with Emmy. After what you did. You've got until Sunday to get your things. She stormed out, calling me every name imaginable as she went down the hallway. Here's where it gets complicated. We technically live together. Well, sort of, it's my apartment, my name on the lease. But she'd been crashing here most nights for the past year. Had a ton of her stuff here. Saturday morning rolls around and she shows up with Marcus and her sister. Let's call her Emma. I'd already packed most of her belongings. Clothes, bathroom stuff, books, all of it. Marcus had the nerve to speak first. Look man, we started off wrong. Let's just talk this through. There's nothing to talk about. Here's her stuff. My now, ex pushed past him. Where's my Bluetooth speaker? In that box. My wall art. That box over there. Then she marched into my bedroom. Where's the vinyl collection? My heart dropped into my stomach. I collect signed vinyl records. Started back in college. I've got about 30 albums now. Some of them are worth real money. My most valuable one is a signed pressing from this indie band that broke up years ago. Only 100 copies exist. I got it signed at their final show ever. I kept all of them displayed on a shelf in my bedroom. Past tense. She demanded. I checked the shelf. Completely empty. Did you take them? She shrugged. I helped you organize them last month when we were cleaning. I guess I forgot where I put them. Bull. She knew exactly what she'd done. You took my entire vinyl collection. I helped you store them. Not my problem if you can't remember where. Jumped in. Look, everyone's emotional right now. I'm sure they'll show up. Right? Sis. My ex just stared at me with this ice-cold smile. That's when it clicked. She'd taken them before the anniversary dinner. Probably right after I mentioned making the reservation. This was premeditated. You have 24 hours to return them, I said. Or I'm filing a police report. She laughed in my face. Good luck proving I took anything. This is what you get for humiliating me. They grabbed her boxes and left. The vinyl collection, worth approximately $4,000 total, just gone. I called the police non-emergency line. They basically said without evidence she took them, it's a civil issue. I'd have to take her to small claims. Great. But I'm not an idiot. I documented everything. Announced photos of the shelf with all the records before. I post about my collection online sometimes. Photos of the empty shelf after. Screenshots of our text conversations where she specifically mentions helping me organize them last month. I also contacted my renter's insurance. They said they'd cover, but I needed a police report first. Catch 22. Found a lawyer who does free initial consultations. Got an appointment scheduled for Tuesday. Meanwhile, she's been texting from Emma's phone since I blocked her main number. You're really calling the cops over some records? Psycho. They're probably in storage somewhere you forgot about. This is harassment. My friend went to law school. He says you have no case. Sure he did. And I'm sure he went to the same law school where Marcus learned proper dinner etiquette. 2. The lawyer consultation was eye-opening. Turns out I've actually got a solid case, but it's going to cost money and time. Small claims court in my state cap had $10,000, so at least I can sue for the complete value. But here's where things get interesting. Remember how she was so smug about taking the records? She messed up. I run a podcast, nothing huge, maybe 300 regular listeners. I talk about music, review albums, interview local musicians. And in several episodes I've featured my vinyl collection on camera, including that rare signed pressing. One of my listeners happens to be a property attorney. He reached out, hey man, heard what happened. You've got video evidence of that collection in your possession with timestamps. That's pretty solid proof of ownership. Plus, if she admitted via text to storing them, that's admission of access. Document everything. I went back through my episodes. Sure enough, clear footage of the entire collection on my shelf. Dated episodes from as recent as 3 weeks ago. Sent everything to my lawyer. He was thrilled. This is better evidence than most theft cases I handle. File the police report again with all of this. I did exactly that. This time the officer actually took it seriously. Said they'd follow up with her. 2 days later. She's blowing up Emma's phone trying to reach me. The cops came to my war callous. This is harassment. You're ruining my life over some stupid records. Fine, I'll give them back if you drop this. I responded through my lawyer, return the complete collection in the condition it was taken. Provide photographic proof within 24 hours. Then we'll discuss dropping the report. Radio silence. Then Marcus messages me on Instagram, forgot to block him there. Yo man, this is getting out of control. She's really stressed. She doesn't even know where half of them are anymore. Some might have gotten damaged in storage. Just drop this and move on. Damaged in storage. So she did take them. Screenshot sent immediately to my lawyer. Beautiful, he said. He just admitted she has them and implied destruction of property. We can add damages to the suit now. Filed the small claims paperwork. Cost me $85 to file. Suing for $6,500. Estimated value based on current market prices for the collection. Plus documented sentimental value for the rare pressing, plus filing fees. She got served at her job. Emma called me screaming about how I'm destroying her sister's life over just some records. Just some records, right? Her mom got involved too. Left me a voicemail. I raised her better than this, and I'm disappointed in both of you, announced, but you need to drop this legal nonsense. Work it out like adults. I texted back, I tried to work it out. I gave her 24 hours to return them. She refused and Marcus admitted they're damaged. This is the adult way to handle theft. Here's the petty part I'm not particularly proud of. I made a podcast episode about the entire situation. Didn't use her name, but I laid out what happened. The anniversary dinner, the missing collection, the legal process. It exploded, went from 300 listeners to over 5,000 downloads. People were furious on my behalf. Someone even tagged her workplace on social media. Wasn't me, I swear. She works for a nonprofit that runs youth programs. Having an employee accused of theft wasn't exactly a good look. She got put on administrative leave pending an investigation into personal matters. Now she's really spiraling. Marcus messaged again. Dude, you need to stop this. She lost her job because of you. Over what? Some records. Be a man and let it go. I replied. She lost her job because she stole 4,000 worth of property and refused to return it. Actions have consequences. Tell her to return my collection or see me in court. Blocked him again. Court date is in 3 weeks. Court was yesterday. Time to wrap this up. 2 days before court I got a text from Emma's phone. She found 18 of the records. Some are scratched. Some cases are cracked. That's all she has. 18 out of 30. The 12,200 signed pressing. Lost when she moved stuff. Lost. Right, court day. She showed up with a cheap suited lawyer who looked annoyed to be there. She'd clearly been crying. Her lawyer tried painting me as vindictive. Your Honor, my client may have mistakenly taken some records during an emotional breakup. She's offered to return what she has. My lawyer presented everything. Podcast footage with timestamps. Her texts admitting to storing them. Marcus's messages admitting damage. Police report. Market valuations. Social media photos showing all 30 records. The judge looked at her lawyer. Does your client have the 12 missing records, particularly the one valued at 2,200s? Your Honor, my client believes they may have been accidentally donated to a thrift store. She donated a 2,200 record to a thrift store. The judge wasn't buying it. Your Honor, emotions were high. The breakup was messy. But nothing. The judge cut him off. This is clear. Cut, theft and destruction of property. Judgment 5,800. She burst into tears. Her lawyer got her a payment plan, $300 a month. Outside her whole family was waiting. Her mom started in. I hope you're happy. You've ruined her. She ruined herself when she stole from me. Marcus chimed in. All because you couldn't handle her having friends. No, all because you ordered 3 or 40 wine on my tab at my anniversary dinner, and she decided theft was appropriate payback. I walked away. That night her mom sent a long text about forgiveness. I replied. Your daughter stole 4,000 worth of property after I refused to fund her reunion dinner with another man on our anniversary. The judge agreed this was theft. I'm done. I blocked the whole family. The 18 records she returned. Useless. Cracked cases, torn sleeves, scratched vinyl. That rare pressing gone forever. Probably at some thrift store for $3. Insurance covered most of it. I'm rebuilding my collection slowly. She's paying $300 a month for the next 19 months. Heard she's working retail now. The nonprofit didn't take her back after a theft judgment. Marcus blocked me. Good riddance. As for me, I'm in therapy learning about boundaries and red flags. Started seeing someone new who actually respects my hobbies and doesn't invite random guys to our dates. Bar's pretty low, but we're clearing it. The podcast episode hit 12,000 downloads. People keep sharing their own stories. It's depressing how common this is. My collection's rebuilding. I'll never get that specific pressing back, but I've made peace with it. Material things can be replaced. Self-respect can't. Final tally cost me about $1,200 total. Cost her 5 and under her job, her reputation, and 19 months of payments. Worth it. Ask me when she makes that final payment. To anyone dealing with something similar, document everything. People disrespect you once, will do it again. Trust your gut. And if someone orders 340 wine on your tab without asking, leave immediately. That's it. Time to move on for real.